Hi, welcome to my April tips, which is not going to be easy because I can explain to you what my bees are doing, but not necessarily what yours are doing. So I'm going to try and talk you through a sort of a common theme that everybody should be doing and then give you different scenarios. I'm going to start with the top bar hive. My wife's gloating actually because it's come out. This is her top bar hive. I've got a number of polystyrene hives. I've got a WBC hive. Came into the winter with 10. I lost 2 in the winter. I think it's because the queen either died or they didn't mate correctly or something. I suspect it was something like that. Whereas the top bar hive here is the best of the lot. So we're going to start here, and that's an interesting point actually. I had 10 hives. I've had a lot more before, but I've gone down to 10. If you're starting off, I would recommend the minimum really you need to aim for is 2. Simple reason being, if your bees do die in the winter for no apparent reason, and you've only got 1 hive, it's absolutely mortifying because you've got to start again from scratch. You've got to get some bees from somebody else. Whereas if you've got 2 hives, then all right, it's depressing, but at least you've got something to work with and you'll be back up to full strength by the summertime. So let's have a look in here. As you can see, the old bath mat is still on there, done a sterling job obviously, and let's have a little look inside. Okay, for those of you who aren't fully up to date with the top bar hive and how it works, I was one of those people last year. This is only the first winter well, this is my wife's top bar actually. So the bees work their own wax out. They draw their wax out horizontally, and there's dummy boards, as you can see, with the blue dots there. So this was how big the colony was going into the winter. This was a surplus drawn out comb that I put on the outside of the chamber, and it's similar to all hives really. Going into the winter, you've got to try and squeeze your bees into a smaller space as possible. That way they keep warm a lot more easily. So I'm not going to do a great deal to these. I had a little look at them last week and I put some more fondant in the bottom of there. So I'm going to go into the middle of the colony, which I think is probably around about here. Let's have a little look, and I'll just have a little look, see what's going on. See if I can find a nice frame for you to have a look at. Wow, what about that one? Let's have a little look. When you're dealing with these top bar hives, you've got to remember that they're quite fragile because there's no sides or bottom to the frames. So when you turn them, you've got to go like that and round like that, otherwise they'll break off. So I don't know if you can see, I'll just show you that. That is a classic comb. Left to their own devices, that's all been drawn out naturally by the bees there, and you can see the brood in the middle, and then around the outside of the brood you can see little pockets of pollen where they work their magic and feed their young, and there's some nectar there, and there's eggs and also larvae in different stages of development. One thing I can't see, there are no drone broods yet. They are the domed capped off brood. So that tells me they're not in the frame of mind to start thinking about swarming yet. So I'm going to leave well alone. I've got another top bar hive. I'm so into top bar hives, I've actually built another one over the winter. So we're going to separate this hive off a little bit later, maybe in May time. Okay, let's go and look at my hives over the other side of the field. Well, it's not been a great March, you've got to say. We're just approaching April next week, and I think the bees are a bit like us really. We're just starting to come out of lockdown, same as the bees. It's been a long old winter. So I'm here on one of my national hives, and I'm going to just show you what's in here and also what you're likely to find in your beehive and what to do about it, hopefully. So as you can see, on this hive I've still got some candy pollen gold on. That's been on for a couple of weeks, and notice they are eating, they're tucking their way through that. I use this or a similar protein patty mixed with fondant because it does stimulate the queen to lay more eggs, and that's the name of the game in early springtime. So let's just have a little look and see what we can find inside, and we can learn from what we see. Okay, so everybody seems relatively happy. I guess I'm across about 7 frames of brood and bees, something like that. I certainly wouldn't think about putting a super on until we're across at least 8 or 9 frames. So I'm just going to remove the end frame here, which, as I expected, it's pretty empty, drawn out comb with a little bit of food there. That's either residue from the autumn feed or it's new stuff. So I'm just going to pop it there on my frame rest, and then maybe just pick one at random in the middle of this colony, just so you can see what you might expect. So there's a good one actually. As you can see, there's lots of capped off worker brood. You can always tell the worker brood because it's got a flat roof to it. Now also on there you can see larvae, you can see little pops of pollen ready to feed the young, you can see eggs, so I'm really happy. Take a look at this picture which will show you drone brood. Now as you can see, the difference there is they're quite domed, and if it is drone brood then you've got to be thinking, you've got to be looking for queen cells, because you are now starting your swarm season. So keep looking for queen cells every week. It's really inspection time every week. If you're not sure what a queen cell looks like, imagine a little bit of your little finger sticking out the side of a frame, and that's what it looks like. Take a look at this picture. Now it's important, if you do find those, to remove them unless you want your bees to swarm. It's a bit of a waste if you're going to just destroy them, so what you can do is you can do an artificial split where you take a certain number of bees out with the queen cells, but I'll tell you more about that when my hives are strong enough to do that. What you need to do is really think about why your bees are doing this. Try and get into their psyche, if you like. Now usually the main reason is they've run out of space. So let's just say, for example, they've come across a lot of frames, you put the super on there, but there's no space in there. The main reason for that actually is what they've done is dump lots of food in there. Let's just say your rape flowers or some big crop nearby has come into flower. So what they'll do is they'll rush back home, stick it in the brood box so they're not bothered to go upstairs, and then that will just clog the whole thing up. So have a little look at this picture and see the difference between the outside of my frame here and also a stuffed full of food frame. Now that frame could be, like I say, it could be residue from the winter feed, so you can't really use it to make honey from because you're not even sure if it is honey. But what you can do is you can put it to one side, keep it nice and safe, and then you can give it to a colony that actually needs a bit of a boost. Now usually that would mean, let's just say you've had a rainy spell and there's not enough food going in for lots of mouths to be fed, or let's just say you've done a split and in the new nucleus you just pop that there so they've got loads of food to go at, and also once they've used the food that's already drawn out comb. So we've covered everything there, I think. What we're lastly going to do is take a look at what I've been doing over the winter during those cold winter months to get ready for this season. Are you prepared for the season? It's April time, so you've really got to be thinking about getting everything done for when you're really busy, when the supers go on and all the rest of it. So I've got 8 hives at the moment with bees in, so I've estimated that I've got 3 nucleus boxes over there. I've got plenty of supers with frames already prepared or used from last year. I've got a spare hive here. I've also got a spare WBC in there, and I've nearly finished a top bar hive in my shed. So I think I'm reasonably prepared for the season. My mentor said to me when I started beekeeping, whatever you think you're going to need at the start of the season, double it and you'll be about right. So the other thing that I've mentioned in March is the treatment. you've got to really finish your treatment before your supers go on there. So I recommend, this is what I use, either Apivar here or Apilife Var. Apivar takes 10 weeks, Apilife Var takes about 4 weeks, but it's weather variant. It's got to be over 12 degrees fairly constantly. So I've talked about this before. I've got videos on how to use it, so make sure you get that treatment completed. Well, I hope those April tips were useful. Lots to look forward to. It's the start of a new season. I hope yours goes well. We're looking forward to obviously coming out of lockdown, and the weather's going to improve, not only for us but also the chickens. They're coming out of lockdown as well. We've got our rescue hens here and a few others. They've been in all winter because of the avian flu, but DEFRA have just told us that from the 1st of April they will be allowed out with the rest of us, hopefully. So enjoy your Easter and see you soon.